Hey guys, Packin here. What I have today with me is my airsoft AK-47 Kalashnikov. This one uses 6mm, 0.20 gram BBs. Now today in this demonstration of the video is that I'm going to be trying to remove the orange tip from this airsoft gun. Now the reason for this is that I want to put like a tracer unit. There should not be any reason for you to remove this orange tip unless there is a reason why you want to put it. I have a tracer. I will bring it up. Hold on. So the tracer I'll be using, that one put for this AK-47, is the one from the Echo unit. And this one shoots out green, basically, when you use the tracer BBs, which can be found from Elite Force 0.20 gram BBs. So if you shine it up, you put it against the light, you would see a nice glow in the dark shimmer. See how it's all glowing from the inside of my hand. But that's the whole idea, is that I want to attach this tracer unit, which can be universal because I use this for my Elite Force M4A1. And this threading is clockwise for my M4A1, and I think this one is counter-clockwise. So I could just detach this off and put it in, and it'll be good as universal. But anyways, off with this. The problem with this orange tip, if I can give you a closer look. There. Now the problem with this is that you have this little pin. This pin is the same thing as one of those Cyma AK-47s that I have, which is this one. They're both nearly identical. Now I was able to take this pin out, and that's because this one over here, let me close this up a little bit. There you go. Now notice here is that there is a brass inside diameter where it shoots out the pellet. Is that this pin is right over the brass. So which in a way I can use a Allen key and use a small rubber mallet and just hit across with the Allen wrench, and it pops right out, no problem. And that's the Cyma. It does at least 380 something FPS, and it's under the 400 FPS, which is great for CQB. Now for this AK-47 Kalashnikov, let me show you. Alright, this right here, this pin right here, over here, the nozzle is obstructing the pin, which is where the pin is over there, and the brass is covering that pin, which makes it much more difficult to take out. Okay, so what I did is that I took out the metal rod, the rod that's affixed over in this area. You just have to pull it out, pull it out slightly, and then pull it out to the left. That way you get clearance. So now, in order to take this out, I've tried many methods. I use like a small wedge and try to like pry it out. It's too difficult because it's in all the way, and I don't want this metal piece to be stripping if I put force in it. If I put force in it, I'd possibly be stripping the threads that are in this nozzle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a Dremel kit and just shave this off, and then use a tool like this tool, these snips, and basically grab onto it and pry it out, because I tried the hot boiling water method, it will not come out. And this thing is lodged into the metal, so which means that if you try to use the hot boiling method and you try to twist it, you'll run the risk of ruining the threads, because the threads has a hole in it, because if something goes through that hole on that metal it's being attached to, and if you try to turn it, you can't, because this little piece of metal is actually lodged into the metal, so you can't really do it because it's really stuck in there. And to make matters worse, like I said, there's a metal piece, which is the brass tube that's inside, is covering over this piece. So you have a brass on the metal, and this is covering the plastic to the metal, and the brass is over that metal, which means you can have no exit to tap this out and have it come out that way. You can't do it. So the only method is to cut it off, and that's the best way possible. Let me get my Dremel tool and I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. I bought my own Dremel tool. This can be found at Harbor Freights. And these Dremel tools, the toolkit can be found in Home Depot or Lowe's, and it's compatible. So anyways, let's try to clear this area. Now, you don't want to do this until it's actually your last resort. You don't want to get into this because you don't want to ruin the orange tip. But you know, when you have the orange tip, you want to make sure you have a replacement for that, because what if you need to have an orange tip because your local airsoft store requires you to have an orange tip because of safety regulations and whatnot. Well, I went to the company. I talked to the company from Cyma, and they were willing to help me out and issue me a replacement orange tip. So I'm able to put it back. So I could just remove this out, get rid of it, and put a new one in. So this is already damaged, because I've tried a lot of things with the hot water method. It will not come out because this pin is very stubborn. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a channel. So I'm going to try and create a channel and just like cut it this way until it reaches, and then I'm going to go cut out this way. You want to be careful not to scrape the nozzle, so just take your time with it. So you put it under lowest settings, maybe number 2. Put it number 2, and just feel it out. There, 1 or 3 passes will be fine. You want it to cut it where the nub is, and you want to cut it over here so you can make an extra room for you to use a cutter. This is the weakest point where the nub is, and you want to get rid of this part. So let me try and remove this carefully. Okay, so I have nothing to grab onto, so I need to set it down a little bit. They really glued this on really tightly, and I can't use a suppressor. I want to use a suppressor. You're a stubborn piece of work. That should be fine. So what I did is that I used a Dremel tool and try to cut more piece out of here so that I have a better grip with my tool. So I'm trying to grab onto it and not cut myself at the same time. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to, like that, and squeeze. So I can feel a lot of tension. Okay. Here it's snapping. There you go. See that? Finally. There you go. When you cut into the plastic, you want to be extra careful not to cut through the threads. The threads are beautiful. It's no damage to the threads whatsoever. You want to keep it that way. Take special precautions and care. Okay, that's great. So I'm taking my small screw, wedge it a little bit. Alright. You want to be a little bit patient. Ooh, yeah. You gotta be extra patient. So we're halfway there. Halfway there. You don't want to mar any of these this beautiful black paint. So you want to be careful. You see that little that little pin? We're gonna try and take care of this plastic first, and then come after that plastic. So basically, what I try to do is make another channel and make a crevice here, so you can make some extra room, and use my tool here and try to force the way out. So I'll be right back. Okay. One more time. Basically, I'm clamping it down and force it this way, coming to me. You want it to have a way to twist this plastic to my side so it can give a lot more clearance for the pin. Don't worry, this is just glue. Alright, pin is almost out. which means I'll take a needle nose plier, and basically I'm gonna just take it in and pull that piece out. All right, I'm back, and I finally got this orange piece out, and it took me a good 15-20 minutes of trying to figure out what's the best way to remove the rest of the orange plastic. Now I'm going to show you the orange plastic, what was left of it. As you can see, this is the part where it's been cracked after using these pliers. This tool that has a sharp edge is able to crack that part out. Now, when I told you about the pin, I used the same part. You know, instead of using the needle nose pliers, I figure this one allows me to, you know, create a crevice. If I you know, squeeze it hard enough, I'm able to pull the pin out, which I was able to do. So I didn't be able to show you that video, but there's a pin, and I was able to crimp it and gently just pull it out with no issues, because it is not glued in. So anyways, the rest of it is that this comes out clockwise. This tightens counterclockwise. So what you do is that you have to clockwise this thing out. So you got clockwise, clockwise, clockwise to open it up. And to do that, I use this tool, clamp tool. So what I did is that I put it over it. Now you see that this area has been broken off from the plastic, right? So what I did is that I gently just crimp it this way. That way I don't, you know, I put a lot of force in the plastic and not on the metal threads, and then clockwise until I break the glue. And the glue is found over here. And there's really no glue that's actually sticking out as much, which is great. So this is a successful run. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to put a suppressor right here. Now, I don't know if this is a I just forgot which way. Oh, this way. So this opens up clockwise. All right, so this is counterclockwise. So you want to be careful not to break the threads, but take your time with it. You see that? You can feel that it's actually screwing in tightly. So you just take your time with it. Now this adapter is only for my Elite Force M4A1, and it's an old electric marker, well, electric airsoft rifle that uses a different threading, but this one works perfectly without it. So the suppressor with the tracer unit, perfect, wonderful. This unit is for my M4A1. There you go, the Elite Force. Let me, there you go. Now these are all CQB legal because they are under 400 FPS, and this one opens clockwise. So this is a regular open. This is different. This is reversed. This is just regular open. This is fine. Which is why I needed an adapter for this, so I can interchange between the AK-47 tactical to my M4A1 Elite Force. Anyways, I will not be responsible if you were to do this on your own gun. Do this at your own risk. This is my first successful attempt in removing the orange tip from my AK-47 Kalashnikov airsoft rifle. So anyways, I hope you enjoy this video, and hopefully give a like and subscribe. Alright, Pack and signing off. Peace.